speakers and honorable eminent participants are from different countries. Though I love speaking in Hindi, but today I have decided to go in English. Harishchandra Postgraduate College, Varanasi is giving us today opportunity to meet together. And Harishchandra, Bharatendu Harishchandra, is known as father of the modern Hindi in present form, what is called as Khadi Hindi. I remember many persons, including Amir Khushro or Bharatendu Harishchandra ji, or many other authors like Mahavir Prasad Dwivedi from Unnao. They all had put different types of efforts at different time, of course, to build this language. And it is said that if you love your language, you have more chance to become a person with original thought, with sense of independence. So your college name itself is very, very loving, very, very attractive, very, very profound. Harishchandra PG College, Varanasi, I congratulate each one of you for arranging this webinar. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Raj Kumar Sahab, who just addressed us now with Punjab University. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth, Professor T.N. Singh Sahab. Our eminent speakers in this webinar, Mr. Arturo Corral, Mr. Chi Pa Young, Dr. Mabonu Chikwelu, Professor Pawan Kumar Singh, who is now working with Mahatma Gandhi Central University at Champaran, my very good well-wisher and friend, Professor Amit Kumar Dwivedi Sahab, and I think that he is going to give a very penetrating lecture today because he works continuously in the field of entrepreneurship. Principal of the college, Dr. Om Prakash Singh ji, and head of department, and my special thanks to head of department, Professor Anil Pratap Singh ji. Only because of him today I am with you, because we are connected for last 3 decades. We are very good friends. We are like family members for last 3 decades. So thank you, Dr. Anil Pratap Singh ji, that you gave me opportunity to be with you all and have fruitful interaction. And it is a feast of learning. We all will learn from each other. Entire faculty of Harishchandra College, PG College of Varanasi, congratulations to you all. Let me start with one word that you used in your pamphlet for this webinar, that COVID-19 has come as black swan. And just now we heard in Saraswati Vandana that Saraswati ji is Dhaval Prakasha. Dhaval Prakash means completely vibrant with white bright color. Like her vehicle, that is swan, is white swan. Sometimes when she is not on her vehicle but still is restful, on lotus, it is white lotus. Her apparel, sari, mostly we find is also white, because white it is indication of purity. Whereas black in certain culture is indicator of inauspicious thing, but in Vedantic culture also, when you have used the word black swan, black color has been highly respectful color, even in Indian culture and many other cultures. You see, out of 10 Mahavidya, Mahakali is black. Kali, black. Night is black. The child lying inside the womb of mother, he or she, the child, fetus, is in black mold. A seed, when sown beneath the earth, the seed is struggling with black, because beneath the earth, the seed is only find blackish environment, only dark. Each one of us has spent 9 months in the womb of mother in that black world. So I'm very thankful that I don't know, but knowingly or unknowingly, you use the term black swan, and it attracted my attention. Black means opportunity of fertility. Seed needs darkness. Fetus needs darkness. And sometimes when we meditate, we should not meditate in most bright light. There should be dim light, or preferably darkness. So black word, I don't know, you use with lots of, let us say, understanding. And black swan should not indicate at all as inauspicious. Black should indicate as an opportunity for next level of fertilization. This is the approach. This is my understanding. And I think the time has come that we should be able to interpret opportunity. We should be able to take certain indications of opportunities in difficult time, rather sitting with passive mood and saying that it is difficult time, it is bad time. It is different time, no doubt, but it is not bad time. So there is one feedback I wanted to give on the word you used on your pamphlet. It just came by chance, and I was spontaneously speaking to you. Second one, you see, before I come to topic directly for a few minutes, and many things have been very nicely elaborated by our two honorable vice chancellors. But you see, some lessons we are learning from Corona. And I would say, mildly, of course, not with louder voice, thanks Corona, you taught me these few things. I would like to share with you. Number one, during this phase of Corona, we are saying, hey, my loving one, please maintain a distance with me. Stand a bit apart from me. I like you, I love you, I adore you. You are my father, you are my mother, you are my brother, you are my wife, you are my friend, you are my colleague. But please stand at a distance. Now, what does it mean? There is a lesson coming, very deep lesson. We had been living in a very blind world. When Corona started, we were actually living with full of unawareness. एक बेहोश की तरह दौड़े जा रहे थे. Never we were stopping and thinking in pensive mood that where we are going. We should run as fast as possible, but sometimes we should stop and should ask in which direction I am running. And that question we were seizing. We were not asking ourselves where we are going. Now, Corona is saying, please maintain a distance. We had become too much attached with body level pleasure. In Sanskrit, there is a word called dehadhyas. Deh mein hi phas jana. Searching happiness or sukha bhav at the level of body. But now Corona has taught us or reminded us again that, hey, actually the happiness is at mental level, psychological level, spiritual level. And the joy that is at body level is ephemeral. It is short-lived. So Corona has taught one lesson to get away from dehadhyas. First lesson I learned from Corona. Second lesson and last lesson, then I'll come to topic. Very important lesson Corona has taught us. Now, before Corona, we used to discuss through online mode very rarely. And of course, our friends who are in distance education mode, my many friends are working in distance education universities, their modus operandi is online. Because they have to reach to those students who are not able to reach to conventional system of studies. But our experience with online discussion was less frequented before Corona. But after Corona, lots of webinars, online teaching. Just yesterday, we concluded 21 days of training in MDI, 21 days of training for engineering corps services of defense, the defense officers of engineering corps. And yesterday, we completed 21 days training program. So training. During Corona, at our institute, we introduced 2 new batches of post-graduation level, 1 year each, of course. They are executive programs, but 1 year duration, long duration executive teaching program. Some of the activities and research are also not stopping. We have seen defense of thesis during this period. We have seen proposal of topic of the thesis during this period, and we have seen discussion with research scholars and some foreign scholars during this period. So works are not stopping. Frequently we are meeting through online mode. But one lesson I learned, which is a very fundamental lesson. You see, now when I'm speaking, you are all on mute. Means you are not supposed to speak, otherwise technology will get disturbed. So I'm allowed to speak. It is a great lesson. When somebody is speaking, others should not speak. Technology has taught us again indirectly that please be a good listener. So Corona is teaching us. Thanks to Corona, something it is teaching. And last thing I would again say, so many things, I can go on and on, but this is not the topic. Last thing I would say, Corona has taught us very important dimension of life. And that is very relevant to the topic today. That and all youth, because the topic is about opportunities for startup for youth, all youth especially, and I'm also a young person, though my hair has gone, but anyway, I'm young by heart. Everyone should learn that Corona has again taught us to differentiate between what is necessary and what is unnecessary. When youth will start thinking about business opportunities, business model in post-COVID-19 situation, in that case, their startup has to be based on a deep thinking that my startup should deal with those endeavors which are connected to necessities of life, because many of unnecessary things in life which were otherwise knowingly or unknowingly flourishing, such unnecessary things will not get attention now. Corona will go. This form will go. Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Pawan Kumar Singh was saying, Corona will go. It might go in 23, but it will go. But some of the impacts it will leave permanently. Its imprint will be permanent. And accordingly, business opportunities also have to be explored. So my dear friends, means my own colleagues in academics or researchers or entrepreneurs or consultants or young minds who are listening, how we will go further? Let me tell you, your startup has to be around necessities of life. You see, Steve Jobs was asked a question that how do you survey or try to know what customers need? Steve Jobs was a different kind of person. He had spent some time in Uttarakhand also, in front of Neem Karoli Baba. Steve Jobs said to the questioner, it is not the job of the customer to know what they want. It is my job to know. Means it is entrepreneur's job to know. It is a startup owner job to know what my customers want. You see how Steve Jobs takes the responsibility on his own side. That's why we realize that persons with wisdom, who are persons with wisdom? Even a young mind who wants to start a startup needs to have wisdom. Professors need to have wisdom. Academic administrators, vice chancellors, directors, they need to have wisdom. Everyone needs to have wisdom. But who is a person of wisdom? There can be 100 ways of describing. And one way of describing person with wisdom is that a wise person takes responsibilities on his or her own side, can be called as person of wisdom or person with wisdom. Person with lesser wisdom or persons devoid of wisdom, they shirk, they push the responsibilities towards other side. I think this is one difference between wise and unwise person. And we need to be more wise in this more challenging time. I'm not saying it is a bad time. It is different time. It is challenging time. We need to be more wise. Now, when we talk about startup for youth, especially post-COVID-19, we should not forget one discussion which was always going on in institutions like ours or Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India or any business college or commerce college where entrepreneurship is discussed, that even in those normal time, means pre-COVID-19, a startup was not an easy ball game. Because 75% of startup, even in normal time, when customers were taken as granted, even in those times, startup was a difficult proposition. 70% thumb rule was that 3/4 of startup would not go beyond 3 years of their first day of existence. That was the challenge. So there is a challenge for researchers here. I'm just indicating. First of all, researchers should think in this direction. What were the challenges with respect to starting a startup in normal time? Out of those challenges, there can be good research on this topic. Out of those challenges, which challenge has augmented its nature? Which challenge has become more and more now dense, concentrated, not diluted? And which opportunity gates are opening? Because when time changes, opportunities also open. So it can be a good research topic that in spite of having a so-called normal time, we had difficulty for a startup, but which are those difficulties, which are those sub-factors which have become more difficult now or which require more attention now? And in this different time, which are certain new opportunities which we were not able to think earlier? Now this new situation has given certain ideas, which are those opportunities entering through the door. So, second topic on which academicians and researchers should think, what are special challenges with a startup in this post-COVID situation, post-COVID-19 situation? What are different challenges? For example, augmented reality. It was upcoming concept in marketing management in last 5 to 7 years. Augmented reality. Through this, customers were being attracted to physical malls, and this model was in competition with online purchase. And augmented reality was showing for some time upper hand in the last 2-3 years. I found augmented reality means basically techno-based artificial intelligence applied base to help customers to identify products well, and that helps enhancing the sales. And this was coming in competition with online sales. But in the present time, when physical proximity or physically going to mall, etc., people have been discouraged. And till now, government is saying do this and do that, and we are following their dictations. But a time is going to come after, let us say, 1 fortnight or 1 month, government would say, please think doing this, please think not doing that, and we have to apply our own mind. For example, a vice chancellor or HOD or director, if we receive government directive that now you may open the college, they may say like that, but then we have to separately decide that whether we should open the college or not. So another point I'd like to say regarding this startup for youth in this post-COVID-19, I take a slok from Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, either 23rd or 22nd slok, which says, and the last portion of that is, Yog Kshemam Vahamyaham. Yog Kshemam. Yog means adding new things, and Kshema means protecting old things. So, in the context of the startup, which kind of startup which were already on roll, we need to protect. And which type of startup we have to say goodbye because time has not been ripened for that kind of startup. So which kind to be protected? Which kind of startup has to be said goodbye? This is under the category of shame, which will be protected. And yoga means through our own creativity and through our own understanding of customers' needs and demand, which are different kind of startup, those we need to start. So yoga and shame we have to keep in mind. Now regarding 5 points which I wanted to highlight, 4 have been highlighted. And even 5th will be highlighted by our honorable speaker. I want to save time also. I not go longer, maybe 2-3 minutes more. You see, my 5-pronged model is like this. A startup in education sector, a startup in health sector, a startup in finance sector, a startup in agricultural sector, and a startup in what is called in management term B2B, business to business sector. And I think When we were listening to Professor Rajkumar Singh ji and Professor T.N. Singh Saab, both honorable vice chancellors, they had amply highlighted on edutech, that is educational technology-based interventions. Health, both of them emphasized. Agriculture, both of them emphasized. I would only like to say that in case of financial interventions, you see, in this present time, everybody's personal finance needs that is also getting impacted, and different kind of configurations are emerging. And for that, there is need to have startup in the field of financial sector, where you can serve basically two purposes: helping people to manage their personal finance well, and secondly, helping individuals to have their basic needs met at their doorstep. There's one thing I would like to add. And last thing on this 5-point model, I would like to add B2B, business to business dealings. Because business to customer, for some time there is a dip, but business to business might increase. So startup should think that how we can augment our business to business model. To end, in the end, I would like to say, I would like to quote here Valmiki Ramayana, which says, Laghu Moolam Mahodayam. Laghu Moolam means at the root there is little investment, but Mahodayam, Maha Uday, but profit is more. We have to see that during post-COVID-19, how the customer needs have changed, and which are those sectors where our, though investment may be low, but its outcome will be very high. And if we keep profit in mind, profit may not come to us, but if we keep really the needs of people in mind, money will follow as byproduct, as a shadow follows a walking person. This is very important. And I would end saying that gain strength inside yourself, especially youth, because one couplet says, अब हवाएं ही करेंगी रोशनी का फैसला, जिस दिए में जान होगी वो दिया रह जाएगा. हतोत्साहित होने की कोई बात नहीं है. There is no need for any kind of frustration, dejection, or keeping yourself low, going to self-downing. There is now opportunity, and we have to actually enjoy each day, each week on the track as a thrilling episodes. And I wish all the best for all of you. I'm highly thankful to Harishchandra College for arranging this conference and giving opportunity to interact with you. Thank you. Best wishes for this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such an interesting and insightful session. Your way of discussing such technical matters in an easy to understand manner reflects upon the vast experience that you have in the field of management sciences. Sir, the author Taleb, who popularized the economic term black swan, has also emphasized that such events can be positive also. For example, the rise of internet is also described as a black swan event. Our culture truly appreciates the black colors, and in every darkness sees an opportunity that is awaiting. Thank you, sir, for emphasizing the above. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.